Mortensen.org. We're a nonprofit educational foundation. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money. And guess what? One of the investments that I do, I've traveled all over the world. I've been around the world this way. I've been around the world that way. I've been all over the world around there. Been to 50 different countries. I've been everywhere that I want to see. There will be a few more things we can put on that bucket list. But one of the things is moving money. I mean, as the foundation, we've given money to over 3,000 different students to help them get started. Now, you don't need my money, but if you need a little bit, I'm happy to send some to you. But you got to earn it. Now, one of the ways we need to do that is one of your investments. You're going to have all kinds of different investments in your life. You're going to have real estate. You're going to have stock. You're going to have small businesses. You're going to have all that stuff. And a small part of your portfolio might be crypto. Now, the reason I like crypto is I can send money anywhere in the world like that. And we do that with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, it's Warren Buffett doesn't like it. Charlie Munger hated it. But the younger generation is really going after it because it's an easy way to be able to move stuff around. Now, some people look at this as an investment, some are not. But I like crypto, but it's only a small percentage of my net worth. So I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm telling you what you can do with my money, though, is when we send you money, I want you to put in the S&P 500. I want you to put it in Berkshire Hathaway, and you can put a little bit into crypto. Okay. So Kurt is in the house with us, my good friend Kurt, and we're going to be talking about crypto and blockchain. Some cool things are happening, especially with ETFs, which are these big organizations now are joining to be able to start trading. So you're going to see now there's more demand for the supply. What happens on that? If there's a certain supply and there's more demand, price goes up. All right, let's take it away. Kurt, take it away, buddy.
Success and Money World. Thanks for being here. Thanks for telling your family, friends, and enemies about success and money and how it can benefit them, how it benefits you. Let's do a crypto blockchain update. Now, this is a new world. You've heard these terms before: blockchain, crypto, Ethereum, Bitcoin. You've heard these terms before. That's not going away. The tech behind it's not going away. It is definitely part of the future, so you're going to have to learn a little bit here, a little bit there. We've talked about it before, but let me update you on the market and tell you a few things that are happening here. This is not financial advice. I'm just trying to simplify, demystify the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain. Hopefully you're getting started. This is just a small piece of your portfolio. When you start to invest, it's higher risk. With higher risk, sometimes you get higher returns, but it is a world definitely you need to know and you need to understand. So let's hop to the market, see what's happening, see what's going on. Take a shot here at CoinGecko.com. It's the market cap for all cryptocurrencies, for all the coins listed here, is 2.5 trillion. 83 million in 24-hour trading volume. And this just has a list of some of the coins that are out here by market cap, meaning Bitcoin's the largest, Ethereum is the second, Tether is the third. Now, Bitcoin, we'll talk a little bit about that and how that works. Number one and number two, most people have heard about those. Tether, right here, and USDC, those are known as stable coins. Those are always worth $1. So they say they peg them to the dollar. It's always worth $1, so you can go in and out of dollars. Some are gold. Some of your local currencies are available on there. So a lot of things happening with the world of especially Bitcoin, Ethereum right now. You click on Bitcoin, gives you kind of the overview here. Let's take a look at the 1 year shot. It's done pretty good. It's not at its all-time high. All-time high was around let's see, barely getting $73,000 there. It's currently worth $65,000. Now understand, just like a currency, we'll take the U.S. currency for example. You don't have to have one whole Bitcoin. You don't have to have one $100 bill. You could divide it into $10, into 10 cents. You don't have to start with one of any of these coins. It's called fractionalization, tokenization, where you get bits and pieces of them. And you could also take a look at what's happening, just general snapshot, a daily view of what percent of the people are buying Bitcoin versus Ethereum versus some of these other coins. Kind of get a feel. Red means it's gone down a little bit. Green means it's gone up a little bit. The size of the square is how much of that is trading on a daily basis. So you can see again, number one's Bitcoin, number two's Ethereum. That's kind of a heat map of things that are happening in the world. A lot of big announcements today. Uber is now accepting Bitcoin payments. You've got Ferrari to expand to Europe to take cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin by the end of the market. They've already done that in the United States. But the big announcements, if you've heard, is the ETF. Now, I'll explain that here in a bit, but this is the big news of the year. Basically, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. And this January, the U.S. government, the U.S. regulators allow this to happen with, we'll just say, the big boys, to where now these large financial institutions can benefit, can get a commission, and it's become one of the fastest growing ETFs in history. They've done them with gold, they've done them with silver and other sorts of investment vehicles. So if you take a look who's involved here, Grayscale, they've got 17 billion in there already. iShares, Invesco, Bitwise, ProShares. These are some of your big ones, the big boys doing it. Although the biggest one's not even on there, that is BlackRock. And in fact, who is BlackRock? They're located in the United States. It's an investment company, the largest asset manager in the world with $10 million under asset management. I mean, this is the biggest of the big. This is huge, just to get a feel. These are the ones that are leading the way. In fact, let's see how much they've got invested since the beginning of the year. $526 million as of July 23rd. That's why we've seen a lot of increase this year, things happening. Now, there's other things happening too, like the German government. They just sold a bunch of their Bitcoin. And Mt. Gox, that was an exchange that went under way back. It was like one of the first places you could purchase Bitcoin. And a lot of those coins are going back to the market for the investors who didn't receive them. So it's kind of a push-pull, a lot going into the ETF, but there's a lot of selling going on too. So that's why you see the market doing what it's doing. Again, overall, the year shot has been pretty good, and people are very bullish. Again, not financial advice. Whether you purchase, get ready to or not, again, there are free ways to get into cryptocurrencies. You can earn Bitcoin through the Success and Money Foundation. A lot of different things you can do there. So a lot of interesting, fun things happening. We've seen a lot of growth in different areas. Here's the other one just announced that they're now going to do an ETF, not only for Bitcoin, but for Ether. And this article says, well, the first day it was open, there was over 1 billion of Ether bought. So there's some of the interesting things happening there. So that's kind of an update, a lot of news. Just want to say it's not going off the radar. It's still there. You're probably hearing more and more about it. In fact, that's the joke, is how do you know if your friend owns any Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? Because they won't quit talking about it. Because they're excited. It's new. It's interesting. Things are happening. It's the wave has just started. It is the age of disruption. In fact, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's do more foundational things here to help you out. Now you know the market's there. It's not going away. The tech behind it's here to stay. But is the age of disruption, power going back to the people? For example, this disruption. Airbnb, the largest hotel company in the world, owns no hotels. That's a disruption. The hotels didn't like it. That's why all these financial advisors who were getting compensated in the past by having people invest in cryptocurrencies all of a sudden can. That changes it. That's the ETF. Another disruption, Uber, the largest taxi company in the world, owns no taxis. And Bitcoin, one of the world's largest currencies, doesn't own any banks. It's basically power back to the people. So make sure you get your facts right. Make sure you do your own research. You find out what's right for you. A lot of investment vehicles out there. You decide what percent you want to use, where and when and how. But get up to speed on this. Again, it's new, it's different. You're learning a little bit at a time. A lot of different voices out there. Make sure you listen to voices that you trust. In fact, that's a term you should know, Bitcoin. Now, why is it so valuable? Well, I can do it peer-to-peer. I don't need a bank. We're not going to get into blockchain and decentralization. But basically, people call it digital gold. It's like buying gold, hedging your bets. There's only 21 million ever to be created with Bitcoin, ever. You can't print more, you can't make more, like government's printing money. That's not enough for one Bitcoin for every millionaire in the world. There's scarcity, there's value, and it's been accepted as a currency. Just like in the past, maybe it was a rock or gold or a clamshell or a cow or an ox, whatever it was, that's currency. It's basically Bitcoin is decentralized digital currency that you can send peer to peer, person to person, anywhere in the world without a bank. Other terms, cryptocurrencies, that's everything, the whole umbrella from Bitcoin to everything. Anything that uses blockchain technology is a cryptocurrency. And there are thousands of them out there. There's different ones. There's good ones. There's bad ones. I like to think about it kind of like if you were around during the dot-com boom. There was some great projects. There's some bad projects. So do be careful. Do your research. Bitcoin is the biggest. That's the first one. Everything else is an altcoin or alternative coin. Blockchain is the technology behind it. We talked about Ethereum. We've talked about Bitcoin. Let's talk about how this is changing the world, Web 3, Internet 3.0. That's something you can understand today, to understand that the blockchain that decentralizes the internet is going to change the game. So let's go back up. Let's do a little history lesson here. Let's go way back, Internet 0. I think when's the internet created? 1969. It was a test between two computers, getting them to talk to each other. The creation of the first net, that was Web 0. It was hard to use. People didn't get it. It was basically used. You were lucky to send an email. Man, if you were really lucky, maybe an attachment or a file. That's all it did. There was no graphical interface. Pretty much just writing text on a screen, putting commands on a screen, getting it to work. But that's Internet 0. Then we moved on, if you remember, to Internet 1, which were static websites. They didn't do anything really. I mean, you could get information, get a phone number, maybe get their email address. It just displayed info. It didn't change. It didn't customize to you. This is when the search engines were getting started, all the different web browsers that were fighting for popularity. This was in the 90s. Pretty much a read-only web. You could only search for websites and read them. Again, there wasn't interaction. They were static HTML pages, they called them. Now, right now, we're at Web 2, Internet 2. This probably began end of the 90s. This is where things got centralized. This is where things started to change, become more interactive, where you could do banking, you could do social media, you could post videos. Thing here, as you know, there's data mining. There's no privacy on the internet. They're tracking all your information. The more information they can grab from you, the more valuable their service is. So there's no privacy, but we saw some great applications, mobile devices, e-commerce, membership sites, great sites like successandmoneyfoundation.org. All these great sites are coming up, a lot of information there. But the reality is now the web is centralized, meaning what? 4 or 5 companies pretty much own most of the data and most of the traffic on the internet. Who do we have? Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You have all these sites that pretty much own you. They have your data. They sell your data. They profit. Anything you post on Facebook, Facebook can do anything with it. They're profiting from your work. YouTube, they're profiting from your work for the most part. You might be lucky if they give a little bit back to you every now and then, but it's very, very rare. So now what happens is we're going to Web 3, and that's powered by the decentralized blockchain, meaning you don't have to use a Google. You can go peer-to-peer. What blockchain does is allows you to trust the person. It becomes trustless to where if someone knocks on your door wanting to sell stock, you're like, yeah, right. But through the blockchain, through Web 3, I can trust somebody that I've never met and I know what's going through. That's the blockchain, or also known as a smart contract. So now I could trade cryptocurrencies without a bank. I can trade stock without a bank. I can do a lot of different things without that service. Even PayPal or Venmo, there's a service, there's a bank that's helping you exchange those funds. But you also control your data. You control you. You own your data, meaning with the blockchain, you're one of the owners, the participants of that service, of that website. So you own it, meaning you decide who gets your data. If you want to sell your data, if you want to post something and they're going to profit from it, you're going to profit from it also and still own it. It's trustless, it's permissionless, everyone shares in it, So instead of giving money to a stockbroker, to the bank, you'll own it. Again, I'm doing big picture here. I don't expect you to understand the first time, but you do eventually need to understand this and how it works. So just open your mind. Again, not financial advice. I just want you to know there's a variety of ways you can do to get started, to understand it. There's great trainings on successofmoneyfoundation.org. We'll give you little bits of information here. But following Robert Allen's advice, let's talk about multiple streams of crypto. And that's something to think about. Not all crypto is a currency. Bitcoin is a currency. Some of the others do other things. But there's a variety of things to take a look at, pick and choose, do some research. You can just do trading. We see a lot of people doing short-term day trading. I mean, it's really hard to recommend it. You got to be good. You got to be able to read charts. You got to do it every day. Some people do swing trades, which might be weekly, buying on the dips. They get to know certain cryptos. Now you can go in and out very fast with the stable coins I talked about earlier, always worth the dollar or whatever your currency is. Some people just hold. It's called hodling, H-O-D-L. It's called hold on for dear life because it can be a very volatile market. So those are ones to think about. So some people just hold, treat it like a portfolio, buy it, forget it, don't worry about it. You could decide to let your broker do it. They'll take their piece, but if that lets you sleep better at night, go for it. You also, with decentralization, can lend your crypto to other individuals, other people, other institutions, and profit from that. There's also staking, which is basically like a CD at the bank to where you say, look, here's the crypto. I'm not going to spend it for a year, and they might pay you 5%. Everyone's different. You see a lot of different ranges with staking. So while you're holding it, you can earn additional cryptocurrency or additional coin of that currency that you're staking. I mean, they even have cryptocurrency IRAs. We won't get into that, but there are different streams, different things to think about. Next one, mining nodes. You probably heard about that before. This is kind of like renting out, Airbnb your computer. Now, some cryptocurrencies take very expensive mining equipment. Bitcoin would be one of those. Things like Ethereum, you have to stake 32 Ethereum to be able to mine Ethereum. They're all a little bit different. Some you can do from your home computer, but that's something to think about. It's almost like cell phone towers. They come to you and say, hey, we put a cell phone tower in your backyard and the piece you're not using, and you get monthly residual from it. You can earn digital coins through your home computer various ways. Some are different than others, but you're the ones that are starting in the blockchain, the creation process. Basically what a miner does is it validates that the transaction's happening. So if random computers around the world have to verify that the transactions are legit, you can't hack that type of network because it's random and it's all over the world. Or another example of a node or miner would be, not the best, but go with me here. You're in Paris, you need some money, you put your ATM, your debit card into the bank machine, right? It's not your bank. And so it checks that it's you through your PIN code, might even take a picture, and it goes to its bank network to see if there's any money in your account. And if there is, let's say you're asking for $100, it gives you $100. And of course, it probably charges you another $5 or $10. That's what mining does. Just like an ATM has to verify it and gets a little piece of the action for you to take out some money, when the transactions are verified, they also get a little cryptocurrency depending on the coin that you're mining. Just put it out there. That can be very profitable. There's activities. This is something you could do if you don't have a lot of money to invest, but you're excited about the market. There are things you can do. Now with Web3, getting compensated for your posts, just like Success and Money Foundation getting compensated for the videos you watch, the learn to earn model. There are airdrops, meaning if you're willing to do some things on your social media, do some activities, they will send you some cryptocurrency. There are search engines that will give you crypto just for using their search engines. In fact, even your browser. Here's one called brave.com. It's on the Chrome browser. I mean, you're doing it every day. You're using search engine, you're using browsers. They give you a little cryptocurrency every time for using their service. There's shopping sites that if you go through them, like an affiliate program, you'll get a little Bitcoin, a little cryptocurrency, depending on the service that you're using. So just putting it out there, think about it. I mean, if you're things you're doing every day, like the browser, the search engine, things like that, you can earn cryptocurrency. So after you download it, it'll look something like this. They have trackers block. You can set up however you want, very secure. They pay out in the BAT, basic attention token, just for using this over the last, I don't know, year or two. Looks like 955 BAT for doing something I'm already doing. So I don't say that's a lot, but it's the potential future earnings that excite. But it's the future potential earnings that tends to excite other people. Other activities, we've talked about this before, here at the Success and Money Foundation is gaming, where people pay you to game. We've done Townstar with some of you out there. Those that continue to do it, you've earned cryptocurrencies. You've even probably earned 20 or 30 NFTs, and we'll talk about that in a second. But any activities, now gaming's paying you. Instead of the gamers owning the whole thing, you get to own bits and pieces of the game. Because in the past, if you earned a sword or something like that, you really couldn't do much of it. Now it's an NFT, and I'll talk about that in a second, and you can profit from it. Another one, NFTs, digital property. Now, talking about the NFT, if you need to know, is a non-fungible token. Basically, in gaming, you know you're the one that owns the sword, owns that piece of property, owns part of the metaverse, if you've heard that term before. If not, we can talk a little bit about that. But it's digital property. See, right now, I'm an author, right? I write books, as you should be doing. If I send you a PDF copy of my book, nothing stops me or stops you from sending it to your friends without paying for it. Right? You just duplicate it, send it. Now with Web3 and NFTs is you own the digital property. As an author, I know, you know if you buy that it's one of 1,000 books or one of 10,000 books, or musicians, one of X amount of songs. If you're an artist, you can do digital art and know that it's a legitimate one. It's one of 20. It's one of one. Maybe it's the only one that exists. It's basically an NFT is like a digital notary, if you know what that is. It's a notary, right, proves that you're doing what you're saying. With an NFT, it's a digital way to do that. So authors can use it. You can use it in gaming, musicians. It's digital property. For example, a baseball card or any type of sports card, when it was physical, you knew it was real. Yes, for the most part. Now they can do digital baseball cards, whatever it is, and you know you own it. You can prove that you own it through the blockchain. Again, the blockchain is just a ledger. It's just public, right? The ledger at a bank, they don't show you what's going in and out every day. Blockchain, you know what's going in and out every day, everything that's happening. Now, you don't know who did it, but you know exactly what's happening. So it would be like a bank that just showed everything that happened that day. It wouldn't say who deposited what and took out what, but you knew that it happened. Then I mentioned metaverse. It's basically owning a digital piece of online property. You're not going to go into that, but you need to be aware of that word. So my advice, get it from Robert Allen, don't wait to do crypto and wait. So even if it's some of the free ways, some of the activities, things you can do, whether you're ready or not, just put it in the back of your mind. You have to understand it. It's not going away. You don't want to be like your grandma. I don't want to learn the internet. Email's a fad. It's going away. Not going to happen. I don't know what social media is. You can say that all you want, but it's not going away. So that's your update. Things are happening. Just like the internet, it's a worldwide thing. Some countries have accepted Bitcoin as legal tender. Some countries are investing in it. Some countries still hate it, right? Because they want full control. They don't want to give power back to the people, which Web3 and blockchain does. So there you have it. That's your update. Let me know if there's any questions. And I don't expect you to understand everything that I said today. I don't. But every time we talk about it, every time you hear about it, every time you learn about it, it becomes easier and interesting. Just like the internet, the web, HTML, when it first came out, email, anything you don't understand seems confusing, but the more you start to get it. So just like the internet, just like any tech, you could learn how to do that. So that is your homework. First, tell 2 friends about the Success and Money Foundation, right? At least 2 friends. Tell them. At least 2 friends. And pick one of the things I talked about today and do a little more research. Find out a little bit more about it. And just like when you handed that cell phone to your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, you saw the fear in their eyes. They didn't get it. There's no way in their mind they thought they could ever get it. And now they're posting so much on social media, they're annoying, right? So you got to get to there with crypto, blockchain, decentralization, and understand what's going on and that the tidal wave is just getting started. So there you have it. So take away things I talked about today, learn a little bit more about it, become a little more educated for yourself and for you people around you. And of course, tell your family, friends, and enemies about Success and Money Foundation and go out and make the world a better place. All right.
Thanks, Kurt. And again, when we talk about crypto, it is a new technology. The technology behind that, the blockchain technology, is what is really, really impressive because it has massive amounts of usage. So it's the blockchain technology. Now, Bitcoin and these crypto coins run on that technology. So if you decide you want to do some investing a little bit of your money into it, I'll tell you what I've done. I've separated it into three groups. Number one, Bitcoin. It's the fastest with the mostest. It only has 21 million coins that are available. So there is a definite supply number that it's going to end with, okay, which is great. Second one is Ethereum. Ethereum is like Microsoft DOS. It's the operating system that all these other cryptos, the vast majority of them run off of. Okay, so you got Bitcoin is one thing. That's one third. One third goes into Ethereum. And the other one's just Wild West. Hey, here's some of the ones that I think are going to be good. So you pick and choose different ones. And again, I'm not telling you what to do. With a little bit of the money that I'm giving you, you're welcome to do that with a part of it if you'd like to. It's kind of fun to see what they're doing. And again, you can move money all over the world, and we are a global economy. So that's why we like it. Anyway, thanks, Kurt. We're going to be right back with our next section.